Welcome to another edition of the Goal Post. I'm your host, Oluwamayowa. I'm not alone. I have Solomon making a return after a couple of weeks out with they say knee injury. Maybe the injury has healed up finally. Maybe. Solomon, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Mayowa. I'm so happy to be back. So happy to be back. I have missed you guys. I have missed talking football with you all. But yes, let's just hope we can keep up with this frequency right now. So great to be back. I feel so happy, so happy to be back.
Well, it's happy always having you back. I mean, we've missed your hot takes and your opinions, and it's something we always look forward to. But there's a lot of story to talk about. Let's start from the home scene before we get into the community shield. The NFF, they've set up a committee to investigate the failures of the Super Falcons to qualify for the World Cup. The Nigerian NFF has set up a fact-finding committee to investigate the country's strength struggles in international football. The decision follows Nigeria's disappointing campaign at the ongoing WAFCON. The defeat means Nigeria will miss the 2027 World Cup in Brazil, bringing to an end the 100% record that Nigeria has maintained since the inception of the tournament in 1991. The NFF, according to the NFF, they said that they would examine the setback suffered by the national teams and make recommendations aimed at preventing a repeat of such failure. The committee member includes Fani Amo, who is going to be the chair, Ladambozo, Desire Okparagoze, Mutio Adepoju, and Alex Mana. Nasser Jubril will also be appointed as secretary of committee. But the NFF said the committee finding and recommendation will help guide measures to improve Nigeria performance in the future. The big question is this: why are you setting up a committee? Um, it's clear to the blind, and as clear as tomorrow sun will rise that we cannot continue to sow failure and reap success. What do you make of this committee? Do you think this is another avenue for them to just invest money? Because the last time they set up a committee, they set up the committee spending over 5 billion, and we didn't see any result. What do you make of this?
Oh well, what we are doing is a fire brigade approach to dealing with issues. It's a fire brigade approach because we waited until the fire has burnt down the building before we now thought of bringing in the equipment that needs to clear up everything. Why did we not do this prior to the tournament? Why did we not do this 5 years before now? Why did we not do this 10 years before now? It just goes to show our lack of preparation for the future, right? First off, when I saw the females that were going to play in the tournament, I asked myself, somebody like Oale, why exactly is she still in the team? I
Hmm.
understand that yes, there's experience that needs to come into play. Quite a number of them still has a lot of things to offer to the team. But Oale is a starting centre back. Now, yes, the parts where you should get where I'm coming from. The Super Falcons have won 10 of the 13, now 14, WAFCON tournaments. Of the 10 that we have won, Oale has won 5.
Hmm.
Oale has won 5 from 2010. And there was a time when we did not win. Also been, in the team throughout all these years.
Hmm.
And she's still in the team. The centre back that can replace Oale. We don't.
Hmm.
It means that we've not been forward thinking. We've not been forward thinking. And now, as I said, we are now doing a fire brigade approach to dealing with issues, right? We've not been forward thinking. Now we're setting up a committee. Another issue that I have with this committee thing is, why is it that every time something like this happens, we're talking about going back to the drawing board? Is there even a drawing board in the first place?
I mean,
Honestly, we're always going back to the drawing board. Is there
hmm.
even a drawing board in the first place? Do we even have a drawing board for the female team in the first place? How can, first off, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, fail to qualify for the World Cup back to back? Right now,
Hmm.
the female too are failed to qualify. And another thing I wanted to say is this: that pay attention to the fact that teams, other countries, they are beginning, not even beginning, they've started, working on their teams. They've started improving on their teams, right? A team cannot be set for Nigeria. Team cannot be set for Nigeria. Which new face or which new faces are we bringing into the team?
Hmm.
Which new faces are we bringing into the team? Which new players are we setting up for the next 4 years, for the next 6 years, for the next 8 years? Which new players are we setting up for the next generation?
Hmm.
None. None. So when you are setting up a committee, is it fine that you are setting up a committee now? Maybe that's fair. That's fair, right? Because obviously we need to look into what we can do to progress. But this committee now, are we looking at 15 years from now? Are we looking at 20 years from now? Are we studying other countries to see how they are setting up for the future? Right? I'll give you two good examples and we'll wrap it up here. Before Germany won the World Cup in 2014, Germany came second in 2002, came third in 2006, came third in 2010. But as
Yeah.
far back as 2006, they already set up youth academies. And it was through these youth academies that we had the like of Mesut Ozil, Sami Khedira, and the likes, the people that eventually came to win the 2014 World Cup. They had set them up.
Hmm.
Which team or which youth academies are we setting up for the future? Look at Spain, the current world champions. De La Fuente was with them under 19,
True.
under 21.
True.
And now the senior team. Which team are we setting up? Which team are we setting up? At least, thankfully, I think we've been able to sort out the age issues. We're not using 30,
True.
35-year-old players
True.
to play on
True.
our 17. I think we're able
True.
to sort that one out, right? But which team, which young players are we setting up for the next decade? Nothing. There's no we are not thinking of the future. It's just instant noodles. We are doing instant noodles. We microwave the thing and we move on. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I am not against the committee. It's fine that we set up a committee because, as I said, we need to look into our football. We need to look into what we can do for the next decade, the next 20 years, and whatnot. But this committee now, are they committed to doing that job? Of going all out? Because bear in mind that the dominance that we have enjoyed so far is because teams have not exactly woken up.
True.
Look at
That's true.
Malawi.
True.
Malawi, first WAFCON tournament. First WAFCON tournament, and they got into the finals. Do you think that with this experience that they've had now, you think they will sit back in the next WAFCON? No. It means
I
that
don't think so.
everybody that is coming into the team, they have an understanding that we were able to get into the final the last time. We need to go all the way out now.
Let,
So
let, let,
that's
let,
what
let,
teams will be looking at,
let me even shock you with the
right?
Malawian case. The current setup they have now, I've been with them for the past 5 years. Their coach, they hired him from the PSL. The head of technical, was a prominent face on one of these cable TVs. And Chawinga and the rest of them, they've been together for over 5 years. They were the
It's
team
not
that won the COSAFA in 2023, and that is the reason why they are here.
it's not it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. When Tunisia sacked their coach in the World Cup and they brought on Amirina, he could not do anything.
True, true,
Not necessarily because he could not, set up anything, but because as it is,
hmm
he could not just do anything with the team. I mean,
hmm
he had just about 3 days or whatnot to prepare with the team. So
true.
I mean, it was only inevitable what eventually happened, right? So we just need to look forward to what we can do to make things better for the national team. That's it.
Okay, that's very fantastic. I mean, you said it all. There is a need for us to introspect and look for a way forward. However, my question on this committee, and probably you might shed more light on this, is don't you think this is more of a deflection tactics? Because the NFF president came out and said they don't have money to organize friendlies. The coach even come out to say something about the NFF that if you do not put in the work, you should not expect results, meaning that there was no adequate preparation for the girls going to this particular tournament. And this is an FA that got $1 million for winning the title about a year ago, because last tournament was almost about a year ago. So what changed? What do you think needs to change so that we don't just set up a committee for setting up stake? We have the white paper and there'll be no implementation. What do you think needs to change?
Oh well, see, with Nigeria, the problem is always the same. It is still the same thing we've always hammered about and hammered about and hammered about. How in every name do you see that there's no money for training and then there's money to set up a committee? Like it doesn't just the leadership is just a big problem when it comes to all areas of Nigeria. It's just the leadership system that we have in the country, right? Now, one of the reasons that I believe one of the reasons why the female team failed in this particular tournament and even failed to qualify for the World Cup is because they had no ample time to train together. These players did not train with one another before the tournament.
Hmm.
How many pre-tournament matches did they play? Maybe two, if I'm not mistaken. How many
True,
pre-tournament
yeah,
matches did they play
true.
together? Right? You had a team like Malawi, as you have said, that have been together for 5 years. You now want come on now. It's not when things are progressing, when things are making it, it's not rocket science. This thing is there's a pathway, there's a blueprint to success. And we don't seem to be working with any blueprint right now. And yes, it just might be a deflection tactics. It just might be because if you say that there's no money for training, I don't think that there should be money for a committee. Because there's no way you are setting up the committee and they will not ask for money.
I don't understand
So
it.
which is more important? Which is more important? We are not looking at the problem. We're not looking at the problem. We are working on the surface. We're not going into deep into the into the problem. We're just working on the surface. As it Oshuala, Rashidat Ajibade, who's there again? Mitchell Aluzi, all of these players. Who exactly are the people that are taking that we are setting up to take after these players?
Hmm.
We don't know any player that's up. For instance, Unadozie, oh my God, Unadozie had a terrible tournament. Terrible. Mm-mm. On all fronts, terrible tournament. Terrible. I was shocked. Yeah.
He wanted to make himself sweeper goalkeeper. That's the reason why he decided to, that's the reason why for the poor tournament. Our game has changed, and I think the change in our game affected that. However, you would expect the coach to be able to make a tough call. The coach did not do that. So I think, in as much as we are criticizing the NFF that take majority of the blame, the coaching crew also, should take some part of the blame.
With Mr. With the coach, you want to put your best foot forward. You want to put your best foot forward. That's the truth. And I think that, in my own opinion, Unadozie is still our best goalkeeper, right? You want to put your best foot forward. Apologies. You want to put your best foot forward. So, Unadozie still is the best goalkeeper. I mean, now, considering what she did in Brighton, she had a fantastic season in Brighton. So
True,
there's no way
true,
she's coming into the WAFCON and you think that another keeper is going to replace her. It's not possible. Right? It's not
true.
possible. And funnily enough, coaches nowadays, they are more ruthless than ever. More
Mhm.
ruthless than ever. We've seen it with Thomas Tuchel. We've seen it with De La Fuente and Unai Simon. No matter the fact that David Raya is the best goalkeeper in England, he doesn't care. He sticks with the players that work with him. So if he had worked, we would have said, "Oh, he's a genius." But now that it did not
True,
work, that's why we're
true.
now talking about it and all of that. So, but that aside, this NFF, this current group of NFF, this leadership that we have in Nigeria, uh, there's just an overhaul is needed. I mean, we've been saying these things since last season, last year, and all of that.
True.
It's just an overhaul of leadership. We need people who understand the business of football, who understand what it means to play football, who understand what it means to grow football. We need people who can develop these systems. We just don't have those people at hand right now. And funnily enough, old players are running away from the job.
True.
Ogocha has
True.
said he does not want to have anything to do with it. Ogocha, he has
True.
come out to say he does not want anything to have, does not have anything to do with it. I think even Mikel Obitu now is even just, is fine as a pundit, because they already know the rot that is in the system. They know the rot that is in the system, right? So if we can have a leadership overall and we have people who are interested in the next decade, the next 20 years. Rome was not built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. And this is the time when we can actually begin to now look into the WAFCON team and say, okay, what is our plan for the next 10 years? What is our plan for the next 20 years? In the next 4 tournaments, how do we intend to dominate again? How do we intend to qualify for the World Cup? And not just even qualify for the World Cup, but begin to actually set the pace for other African teams in the World Cup. It's not enough for us to qualify for the World Cup anymore. We need to begin
True.
to get into the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and begin to aim to win the World Cup. We cannot be winning WAFCON for 10 times and we're doing local champion. No, we need to begin to aim for bigger things right now. And is one of the things, although I am sad that we did not qualify, I was still rooting for us to qualify for the World Cup. But now that we've not qualified, we can actually now dig our heels in. If we're a serious country, we can now dig our heels in and begin to put plans in place, to put structures in place for the next decade, for the next generation of players to come. Thank you.